I've said before that we should resist the temptation to think of Beethoven only as the composer of the Eroica, the Fifth and the Ninth Symphonies, which are so shattering in their effect, because even more remarkable than the drama which he brought into music is the enormous range of his expression, which includes all the human emotions, from the wildest aggression to some of the most tender moments in all art. Therefore, in relation to his writing for piano and orchestra, I would like to take the Fourth Piano Concerto, which is one of the least dramatic of all his works, but no less great for that. In fact, it is one of the strongest reminders of the comprehensiveness of his vision, and I always remember that it was in this concerto that Beethoven made his last appearance in public. It hasn't got the power of the emperor, nor the tragic implications of the Third Concerto. Neither does it have the virtuosity of the first or second. Beethoven's Fourth Concerto begins like a piano fantasy. For the first time, a concerto really starts with the piano. It sounds like the beginning of an improvisation on a grand scale. This opening is to me very important, and I always work at it, because it's very difficult to play it with great expressive quality and at the same time with a simplicity that will make the orchestra's entrance in the sixth bar in pianissimo and in a different key in B major sound like the surprise which it is intended to be. I remember a story that Edwin Fischer used to tell. When he played this concerto with Richard Strauss conducting, he played the opening bars in a very expressive way, and Strauss didn't come in with the orchestra. Noticing his surprise, Strauss said to him, "Why are you making so much of it? It's only a visiting card." I think one has got to try and understand Beethoven's intentions. This is one of his most extraordinary effects, to understate precisely when one may expect an overstatement. He suddenly goes down to a hush in a dramatic moment where a lesser composer may have made a great pompous statement. After all, if one has got something very dear and important to say, one doesn't necessarily shout it at the top of one's voice, one says it in a hush. Now, the piano finishes. Now, orchestra. For me, the undramatic Beethoven of the Fourth Concerto and the Pastoral Symphony has an almost religious quality about it. And I think we can find one of the keys to this side of his character in the way he looked at nature. It was not religious in the conventional sense, nor scientific in the sense of being analytical, but as an individual who believed very strongly in creativity and stood in awe before the greatest creation of all, nature. There's a sense of pious simplicity which for me only came from faith. And I think this quality is shared by the Pastoral Symphony and the Fourth Piano Concerto. The Pastoral Symphony is, of course, much more directly related to nature on the surface. But as I've said before, Beethoven was never really interested in writing program music. And in trying to find the essence of his music, the Pastoral Symphony and the Fourth Concerto can each help us to understand the other. Here, then, is the complete first movement of the Fourth Piano Concerto, with Sir Adrian Ball conducting the New Philharmonia Orchestra.